He does manage to escape with his crew, but he has lost blood on the crime scene. Now the police have his DNA and start to investigate his identity. And if they catch him, he's looking at 15 years behind bars.
That AP on my head, see Terrell to go up fan. All these pussies got no motion.
July 1st, 2018, 9:20 a.m. A high-security prison south of Paris, one of the largest, most modern, and most secure detention centers in France. Hundreds of guards, massive 17-foot walls lined with barbed wire and armored doors. The courtyards are covered with anti-helicopter netting. On all 4 watchtowers, snipers with assault rifles stand at the ready. In solitary confinement cell 207, inmate number 00-10189 waits to be escorted to a visiting room. He is the most heavily guarded prisoner in the country. He was involved in at least 30 robberies, some including hostages, one involving a cash and transit heist that led to the death of a police officer.
You motherfuckers crazy, G. That's all you can say, bro. Just wicked. Just wicked. Keep it a million with y'all. Welcome to the second channel. If you're new here, subscribe. Subscribe to my main channel, Terrell from AV1. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be doing reaction videos over there every damn day. Y'all won't be disappointed, man. Do your homework on that. And I also got a third channel. It's called Terrell Be Hotboxing. I be doing weed reviews over there, so, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go check them videos out. I will be popping up a picture, but get back into this video, bro, because this shit crazy, bro. Nigga been involved in 40 damn robberies. Like, what the fuck?
He slipped away from the police right at the scene of the crime. And 5 years ago, in 2013, he pulled off a spectacular escape from another high-security prison, using a smuggled gun and explosives to blast his way out. 2 guards unlock his cell to pat him down. They do find something suspicious, but it's just a pack of gum. The guards like him, despite his staggering record of high-stakes crimes. He's easygoing, funny, and likable.
Yeah, you gotta watch a motherfucker like that, boy. Like, they're just motherfuckers. I'm keeping it with you. Like, motherfuckers like that, bro. I'm telling you, listen to your boy. This nigga didn't escape 2 times. I'm telling you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, my guy on some Pablo Escobar type time. I'm telling y'all.
Like he's perfectly comfortable here, behind bars. 20 miles away, 65-year-old flight instructor Stéphane Bay welcomes 2 new students, Frédéric and Julien, father and son. They're both hyped for their flight. They say they just want to tag along and watch him fly, not pilot themselves, but they do request it to be on board the Alouette 2, a vintage collector's model from the 1950s. The pair have been marveling at it because it just looks so pretty. Something feels sketchy. Stéphane will later recall that he thought they were wearing wigs. But hey, money is money, right? They pay 500 euros in cash up front. Back in jail, the prisoner is escorted to the visitors block for high-risk inmates. It's situated as far away from the prison entrance as possible. Prison management has been on edge for a while, noticing a change in the inmate's behavior. He's received more visits and seemed to be sending coded messages during phone calls. His casual vibe with the guards could be a tactic to extract useful intel. A couple of days ago, a drone was spotted scouting the facility from above. Stéphane is waiting for his students on an open field. He has landed on the clearing because they said they needed to stop to pee. They stepped out and disappeared behind some trees. When they return, they're armed. They claim to know his family and his home address. They say they have been watching him for months, and that their accomplices are waiting at his house as they speak. If he doesn't do exactly as they say, his family dies. They'll tell him where to fly next. On the visit,
Crazy word. Listen to your boy. That's tough. Y'all take notes on this shit. Like,
side of booth number 50, the inmate's older brother is waiting to see his sibling. He has no idea that his little brother is about to pull off the most spectacular prison break in French history. prisoner calmly waiting for his helicopter ride is Redouane Faïd. He's the country's most infamous criminal. He's also a best-selling author, a movie buff and adrenaline junkie, and to many in France's immigrant suburbs, he's also a legend. But to understand all this, we need to go back to the beginning.
That's Scarface.
1978, a suburb near Paris. This is 6-year-old Redouane. He's still in kindergarten, browsing through a newly opened store with his brother, who's 2 years older than him. There's not a single thing in this shop the two could afford. Their parents are Algerian immigrants. The father works in a factory, the mother cleans houses. At home, the boys shared a cramped 3-room apartment with 9 other siblings. The social housing block is surrounded by wealthy suburbs, full of wealthy French kids. Redouane and his brother do not fit the mold, and the store detective makes sure they know it. He calls them petite merguez, a racial slur for Algerian immigrants. But other than that, he doesn't really pay attention to...
Hell no, G, like... Just imagine being called that shit, bro. And you not even knowing what that shit mean, G. And you not even from... I'm telling you, bro, like... That shit'll spark hell, bro. Kill a million with y'all. That shit'll spark some shit, boy.
Out in the parking lot, the brothers divide up their haul. It's Redouane's first theft ever. A couple of weeks later, he gets caught. His parents are furious, and his father whips him 20 times with a belt. His mother makes him promise he will never steal again.
Hell no.
Around this time, Redouane discovers the world of film,
You know what
especially
I'm saying?
French
That'd
crime
turn
thrillers.
That nigga into a savage and shit, boy. That'd made him stronger than ever. Fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? That'd made him do the shit even more, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. It was just like, what's the whole purpose of that shit, nigga? Like,
And American gangster movies.
nigga gonna do what
He
he
watches
gonna
them
do.
on repeat, memorizes
Bro.
entire scenes, and acts them out at home for his family. By his teens, stealing isn't just survival anymore. It's a way of life. He and his friends swipe TVs, stereos, VCRs, car radios, and computers. They use the money to buy Adidas sneakers and flashy tracksuits. But more than anything, they go to the movies. Again and again. Then, at 18 years old, Redouane commits his first bank robbery. He walks in armed, holds the bank employee at gunpoint, and threatens her with a line straight from the French crime film, Marine. Shut up. Do what I tell you. I've got nothing
Tough.
against you.
This nigga think he living in a movie. Do your homework. Do your homework on my boy. You know what I'm saying? Living a movie life. Nigga, this is reality. Fuck is you talking about? Nigga think he's Scarface or some shit.
You want the money. Think of your children. After the robbery, he simply goes back to school and studies for his high school exams. There's no one to scold him anymore at home. His father has moved back to Algeria, and his mother is dying of leukemia.
Damn.
He'll later write in his autobiography that, from that moment on, he stopped caring. Redouane Faïd's crimes are getting bigger, and they seem to be directly inspired by American action films. During a heist, he and his crew end up taking a bank director and his family hostage. They are wearing rubber masks with the faces of famous politicians, just like Patrick Swayze in Point Break. Redouane even delivers a line from the movie when they leave the scene.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and please don't forget to vote.
In another hot
Nigga, get your lame ass on, nigga, like.
situation 2 years later, Faïd and his men show up in sharp black suits in homage to Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs. They even adopt the thing with the color-coded aliases.
Mr. White, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Blue, Mr. Orange, Mr.
Think
Pink.
he an actor or
But
something.
this time, the job goes sideways, and they have to flee from the cops, just like in the movie. However, all these spectacular crimes still don't seem enough for Faïd. One of his all-time favorite gangster films is Michael Mann's Heat, and after watching it over and over again, he sets himself a new goal: the holy grail of robbery, armored trucks.
My boy taking it to the next level. He said, fuck this shit. Kill the million with y'all. Like, that's what happens when you watch films and movies and shit, nigga. You get influenced easily by that shit. I'm telling you. You get influenced and you pick up the mannerisms and shit, bro. You listen to your boy. And you pick up all that shit at an early age. I'm telling you. And that shit gets you influenced like a motherfucker, bro.
Industrial area on the outskirts of Paris. Faid is behind the wheel of a Renault. He spots his target, a 6-ton armored truck with 3 armed guards inside, and slams his car straight into it. Within seconds, 2 more cars appear, blocking the truck from the front and back. 5 men in hockey masks jump out, AK-47s in hand, just like in the movie Heat. They surround the truck, moving fast. One of them slaps an explosive-looking package onto the
window.
window.
Some mafia shit right now. I'm telling y'all, like, he on that type of time to listen to your boy.
The guards step out and surrender. Faid and his crew start emptying the truck, but there's a problem. It's simply too much cash. Moving the money out takes way too long. After just 3 minutes, police are on the scene. Gunfire erupts. Faid takes a bullet to the shoulder. He does manage to escape with his crew, but he has lost blood on the crime scene. Now the police have his DNA and start to investigate his identity. And if they catch him, he's looking at 15 years behind bars.
Damn, bruh.
Stefan Bai and his 2 captors land for a second time. The hijackers have 2 more men waiting on the ground. They haul large black duffel bags into the helicopter. One of them climbs in, all dressed in black, hood pulled over his head. Stefan is held at gunpoint the entire time. Now he is ordered to take off again. He flips the ignition switches and presses the starter, but nothing happens. The kidnappers think he's trying to outsmart them and start freaking out. They beat and threaten him. If he doesn't do as they say, his family dies. Stefan manages to convince them that he really needs to step out to check the wiring.
That shit in the game, bro. Like, that's what be going on. I'm telling y'all, listen to your boy, bro. This shit be transpiring every damn day, bro.
Finally, the engine roars back to life. They take off again. The hijackers are well prepared. The duffel bags are packed with tear gas, smoke grenades, masks, AK-47s, and an angle grinder. And so the heli thunders towards the high-security prison, where Redouane Faid is sitting calmly in visiting room 50, chatting away with his older brother. Hands down, this really is the kind of stuff you'd expect in a Hollywood blockbuster. But say you're in the US and can't stream this French crime thriller due to geo restrictions. Enter CyberGhost VPN. With servers in more than 100 countries, CyberGhost lets you bypass restrictions. 20 years earlier, the Movenpick Hotel in Basel. An employee enters a room to prepare it for the next guest. She has no idea she is not alone. Redouane Faid has been hiding there for over 3 hours. Outside, the police are searching for him across the entire city. A few hours earlier, Faid was arrested on a train heading from Germany to France. German federal police took him into custody. He had been hiding abroad for months. But when the officers escort him off the train, he manages to break free. He runs straight across the tracks to shake the cops. A train roars in and blocks the officers from following. He jumps several meters down and twists his ankle, so now he's limping. Somehow he makes it to the back entrance of the Movenpick Hotel and sneaks inside. He finds several open doors, since the cleaning staff are still working. He needs to get out of here somehow. He thinks about calling a contact in Strasbourg, but he doesn't have a phone, so what now? There's a payphone right outside the hotel, but he also doesn't have any coins. He calmly approaches the receptionist to ask if she can give him some change for a bill. She places the coins in front of him, which leads to another problem. His hands are still cuffed. What if she notices and calls the police? Faid keeps it cool, acts like he's casually reading a promo poster behind the desk. The moment the receptionist turns away, he quickly scoops up the coins. The first call fails, and he disappears onto the hotel rooftop to hide for a couple of hours. He tries again, turns around, and finds himself surrounded by 20 police officers. The next day, Faid is at the hospital with 2 officers.
Nigga, like, just imagine, nigga, like, you turn around, you see nothing but 200, 300 police officers, bro. Nigga, your heart drops straight to your motherfucking ass. I'm telling you, G. Your heart dropping straight to your ass. Nigga, butterflies in your stomach. Keep it a million with you. You didn't shit it on yourself. Do your homework.
To have his ankle checked. He seems to be in serious pain, but that's...
This game, you're not ready for it.
But that's just an act. In a fraction of a second, he drops his crutches and snatches a gun from one of the officers. He He trained in Krav Maga during his time in Israel, a super efficient military combat technique designed for fast defense and brutal disarmament. Before the second officer can
using one of the tactics he learned from the movie. Stop playing. He on that timing.
Fayed drives his elbow into his face. The officer drops, and Fayed takes his gun too. Then he runs, as fast as he can, for the second time in 24 hours.
My boy,
You would think a guy like that would be watched extra closely in jail. At 11:18 a.m., this prison guard hears a strange noise. A low hum or buzzing sound coming from outside. To her, it sounds like a leaf blower. Weird, she thinks. The gardeners are not supposed to work on Sundays. Well, it's not a leaf blower. But the facility is prepared for this. This sentinel receives an urgent order over the radio: unseal. The same thing happens on other watchtowers. Each one is equipped with a special case. The guard has to break the seal to open it. Inside is an HK G36 assault rifle. He grabs it and takes aim. The helicopter just keeps descending. The prison yards are covered with anti-helicopter netting. Flying in here would be a suicide mission. But this is not a random helicopter. It's a 60-year-old vintage model, just small enough to slip through this unsecured gap in the last one of the prison yards. Also, this is not a regular landing. In fact, they're not touching down at all. Redouane Faïd must have known somehow that prison guards are not allowed to shoot at a flying helicopter. There's a proper protocol for this. And maybe he also knew that Stéphane Baye is one of the few pilots in all of France who are skilled enough to pull this off, to keep this specific type of vintage heli steady enough while hovering above the ground. Investigators will later discover that Faïd had been writing letters to Stéphane's stepdaughter for 2 entire years. And this friendship was not Faïd's only connection to the outside world, because at this point, Redouane Faïd was already a star. October 2010, 12 years after his escape in Basel, 8 years before his helicopter prison break, Redouane Faïd sits in a French talk show.
Gangster, braqueur, voyou, voleur, appelez ça comme vous voulez, il revendique à peu près tous ces mots-là. Bonjour Redouane Faïd.
Bonjour.
Les banques, vous en avez braqué combien en tout?
Alors, officiellement, j'en ai braqué qu'une, puisque j'ai été condamné que pour une banque. On m'a soupçonné d'en avoir braqué une trentaine, mais bon, ça, c'est que des dires et des racontards.
I see Satan in that nigga eye, so I'm keeping it with y'all like, stop playing, boy.
Welcome guest at the time, a bit of a sensation even. Redouane Faïd has written a book about his cinematic crimes, so now he's making the rounds on French TV to promote it.
C'est terrible de dire ça, mais le cinéma a été pour moi un mode d'emploi pour braquer.
Et on voyait ça un petit peu, l'attaque de fourgon blindé en ligne de mire. Pourquoi? Parce que quand t'attaques un fourgon blindé, c'est le top des tops.
The caption on screen reads, former gangster. Well, not so long ago, he was anything but. In late 1998, 3 months after his escape in Basel, Faïd was caught and sentenced to 18 years in jail for armed robbery. He was granted parole for good behavior after just under 9 years. Now he presents himself as a changed man, as someone who has learned his lesson.
La vie de bandit, c'est que de la vie de merde. Vous savez, vous faites souffrir tout le monde. Quand vous allez en prison, c'est une sanction carrément qui est collective, parce que votre famille, votre femme, vos enfants, vos frères, vos sœurs, vos parents, tout le monde paye.
He got married. His brother has landed him an office job. He appears to be taking it easy now. At one point, he attends a film event where Michael Mann is physically present, the director of Heat, the very film that inspired his biggest heist.
Moi, personnellement, je suis un ancien gangster. Malheureusement, je m'en vante pas. Je viens de faire une dizaine d'années de prison. J'ai attaqué des fourgons blindés, des bijouteries, des banques, monsieur Toubiana, je pense. Et je leur ai répondu que non. J'avais un conseiller technique, un prof de fac, une sorte de mentor, et il s'appelle Michael Mann. Alors ma question, en fait, elle est simple. C'est est-ce qu'il a conscience qu'il y ait des gangsters qui puissent s'inspirer de son cinéma? Parce que moi, ça m'est arrivé.
Faïd addresses Mann directly. Michael Mann looks amused, but also a bit uncomfortable. He doesn't know what to say.
Thank you for that. I don't know how to respond.
In another talk show stint, Faïd is asked if he thinks he could ever relapse.
Ah non, moi mes démons, vous savez, ils sont morts, ils sont pas endormis.
That's a bold-faced lie. Because at this point, he's already back to committing crimes. And not just petty theft, but a crime so shocking it will shake the entire country. May 20th, 2010, Créteil, a suburb southeast of downtown Paris. Two officers are on routine patrol, Thierry M. and his partner Aurélie Fouquet. Fouquet is 26 years old. She became a mother just a year ago. For them, it's just another day on the job. But then they get a call from the National Police. They're told to head to the A4 highway exit. Some criminals are on the run in a white van. They pull up at an intersection with flashing lights and blaring sirens. They have no idea what they're about to get into. These men had a plan to rob an armored cash truck carrying 16 million euros. But 30 minutes ago, a routine traffic stop turned their heist into a high-speed, all-out chase with the police. Now they've crashed and need a new getaway car. But at that exact moment, the two patrol officers arrive. The gang doesn't hesitate to open fire. The windshield of the patrol car alone is pierced by 16 bullets. Fouquet is hit multiple times. The gunmen flee. Fouquet is rushed to the hospital. And by the end of the day, she is dead.
Damn.
The murder of Aurélie Fouquet sends shockwaves throughout the entire country. At her funeral, thousands of police officers stand in mourning. Among them is French President Nicolas Sarkozy. He posthumously awards her a Medal of Honor and delivers a promise. He will do everything it takes to find out who did it.
Les meurtriers d'Aurélie Fouquet, je le dis devant son cercueil, seront punis avec la sévérité qu'exige l'ignominie de leur crime.
Redouane Faïd feels safe. So safe he keeps telling his gangster stories on camera. Here he is in a documentary.
See? Even back then, bro, like, come on, G. This how y'all motherfuckers be getting caught, bro. Y'all be getting on these motherfucking cameras and just like, bro, do you know how to shut the fuck up? You ain't supposed to talk about what the fuck you did, bro. Like, you motherfuckers slow, bro.
The film recounts how Fouquet was gunned down, and then Redouane Faïd appears, not as a suspect, not as a fugitive, but as an expert on this kind of heist. At the time, the filmmakers had no idea that the man sitting in front of them had a part in the killing of Aurélie Fouquet. The failed attack on the armored cash truck has Faïd's signature all over it, but he has an airtight alibi, and he swears he was not involved. But investigators keep digging and eventually find compelling surveillance footage. A security camera has caught Faïd inside the white van used by the criminals. Faïd was not on the scene when the shots were fired, but police gather enough evidence to pin him down as the mastermind behind the operation. After 1 year on the run, Faïd is captured, again, and he goes straight back to prison. Whether you're invited to a talk show or heading out on a date, there are moments when you want to look your best. But shaving is often a struggle. Many men experience razor burns and get nervous about shaving right ahead of an important event. That's why Henson set out to firefighters. The unarmed warden bolts into a nearby office, hiding behind bulletproof glass. Meanwhile, the two prisoners are about to witness Redouane Faïd's spectacular prison escape up close. One of the three men stays with Stéphane, the pilot, and continues to press a gun to his head. The other two jump out. They are masked and wearing bulletproof vests beneath their clothes. Each of them carries an AK-47. They've just landed in the honored courtyard. Prisoners do not have access here. It's only used when inmates enter or leave the facility. That's why nobody thought anti-helicopter cables were needed here. The man in green runs towards a reinforced white door. He carries an angle grinder with a 14-inch 35cm blade. His partner sets off 3 smoke grenades, releasing thick white smoke. The helicopter's spinning blades churn it into a roaring chaos, until the entire courtyard is engulfed. A complete whiteout. The sound of the cutting angle screeches through the entire prison. Faïd knows what that means. It's time. By now it's clear to everyone that nobody here is blowing leaves. The blade of the grinder slices through the locking doors. Clean, precise. 40 seconds is all it takes. The man in green can just push the door open and step inside. The guards slowly realize what's happening, but they're not carrying firearms and are unable to interfere. One of them sticks to protocol and calls the Civil Aviation Authority. They don't understand what's happening. Another calls the standard line for police emergencies and gets put on hold. A third contacts the local police, but the officer on the other end thinks it's a prank. The sentinels on the 4 watchtowers are the only ones carrying firearms, but they can't see the helicopter because their view is blocked by other buildings. And they're not allowed to fire at a flying aircraft anyway. Total, utter chaos.
Hell yeah.
By now, Faïd's brother knows exactly what's going on. He's furious. He thought his brother was ready to change. And now this, another escape. He just can't help himself. Faid's accomplice has already cut his way through several locks, and now he has reached the door to visiting room 50, where Redouane Faid is waiting. The ankle grinder slices through the metal. The door is open. Faid has been waiting for this. He storms out and rushes down a long corridor, followed by the man in green. His brother is left behind, frozen and stunned. At 11:28 a.m., Redouane Faid steps into the prison courtyard. 10 minutes after the helicopter got there, he sees the two inmates that have taken out the trash, brings his right hand to his temple, and gives them an Air Force salute. Then he climbs into the helicopter. Dozens of inmates stand pressed against the bars of their cells to watch. As the helicopter lifts off, the entire prison erupts into applause. It's almost like a movie scene.
Shit, he was playing a movie.
A French gangster who broke out of jail by hijacking a helicopter.
A notorious gangster is on the run again.
Criminal who is a big movie fan. He has broken out of prison twice
and
now.
You can just about make out the helicopter flying off into the distance.
Multiple armed men who hijacked a helicopter
which picked up Redouane Faid from within the prison grounds.
The news of Redouane Faid's prison break spreads across the world. He was already famous, a TV figure, the center of a cult-like hype. But this is a whole new level. A well-known French actress writes on social media, "Bravo, Redouane Faid. All of France is with you." The French police declare him the country's most wanted man. 3 months later, the authorities track him down, hiding in an apartment in his hometown, Cailles. He's been disguising himself under a burqa during public outings. When he finally stands trial in 2020, authorities take extreme security measures, including a no-fly zone above the courthouse. The court cites a psychiatric assessment describing him as a social predator and gifted at manipulation. He uses his charm and intelligence to control others and get what he wants. Faid himself says that for him, it was always about the adrenaline. He says he is addicted to it and calls himself a sick man. His Hollywood-style heists made headlines worldwide, but he also made his family suffer, traumatized hostages, and caused the death of a 26-year-old police officer. Faid stood 2 separate trials. For his heists, his role in Aurélie Fouquet's death, and his 2 escapes from prison. He was sentenced to a total of 39 years in jail. His lawyer says he's been held in solitary confinement since 2019.
Damn.
He's strip searched up to 5 times a day at random intervals. At least 4 guards escort him to each and every one of his phone calls. And even then, his hands have to remain in shackles. Faid himself says he feels like he's been buried alive. His earliest possible release date is 2060. He would be 88 years old by then.
He gonna be gone then, bro. No, that was a crazy one. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all give me y'all thoughts on this one. Subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Y'all head over to my 3rd channel, Terrell be hotboxing. I be doing weed reviews over there, you know what I'm saying? Like, giving my thoughts and my opinions on certain items and, you know what I'm saying, recommending it to y'all. But, yeah, man, y'all go subscribe to my main channel, Terrell from AV1. I'm taking over with this content shit, bro. Like, for real. But, yeah, I love y'all. I'm gonna see you on the next one, man. I'm out.